What's up, y'all? Ivan here from the Ivan Rides YouTube channel. Today we're going to be on the Handlworks modified Zooz 750 and we're going to do a round-trip commute to the city. And on this ride we're going to be testing out three things. Number one, this backpack mount. Number two, these wind muffs. And finally, these ND filters. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. It's good to have you on board today. Before we 100% focus on this ride, I just want to remind everyone I am affiliated with the following companies. So if you want to support the channel, there are going to be affiliate links and affiliate codes down in this video's description. Using those links and codes will generate a small commission for the channel that helps me with operating costs while helping you save some money on something you're planning on purchasing. So thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You know, I've been wanting to try this setup for a really long time. The backpack mount right here allows me to simulate the POV of a chest mount. And the thing that I've learned over the years of trying chest mounts is that I really hate it. And the good thing is, like, I always wear a backpack anyway. So this ends up working out. Like you saw in the intro there, all I'm wearing today is my Dainese balaclava and my Fen helmet. This chest mount or backpack mount just gives me another option as far as recording, because that's kind of like what I'm looking for nowadays, is like versatility. I don't want to be tied down to just having my TSG helmets and that full setup. And the second thing that we're using right now is the wind muffs. When we first got the Insta360 X5, y'all saw that we were having a little bit of issue as far as like audio quality when recording without the lav mic. One of the things for Insta360's new X5 was it's supposed to have like much better wind reduction, which is true if you're not doing ride vlogging or if you're not riding a bike or a PEV. It should be sufficient in normal scenarios, but when you're doing this, you need a little bit of extra wind canceling. So I'm hoping that the audio quality is much better now. When recording without the lav mic, the thing is, like, I'm always constantly yelling. Right now I'm just projecting. I'm not necessarily like raising my voice too much, so it's hopefully capturing everything and then blocking out a lot of the wind. Before we start talking about the ND filter here, I just want to make this quick disclaimer. I am by no means an expert on ND filters and camera settings. If you're here because you want to learn about the best settings for your camera and how to use an ND filter and how to select it, blah blah blah, there are going to be a ton of channels that do that already, that specialize in like reviewing cameras. So I highly suggest going on YouTube University and just kind of scrolling through there. This is just going to be my experience for my use case, so I hope you understand some of my untechnical terms here. So I just wanted to throw that out there before someone's like, well, Ivan, that's not necessarily the case here. With that said, y'all know that I'm always looking for ways to improve the quality of the video on the channel. I want to make more immersive, more interesting videos. So the goal for me in having an ND filter is to simulate motion blur that's more natural. So something that looks a little bit more like what your eyes see. The action cameras are incredible at capturing footage, but there is something very digital about it because each of the frames are just like really crisp. And in order to counteract that, we need access into the camera's manual settings. The ND filter allows us to be able to set the shutter speed manually as well as the ISO. What that means is, like for example today, I'm shooting at 30 frames per second with a shutter speed of 1/60 and an ISO max of 400. With those kind of settings, usually you end up with a extremely overexposed video that you can't even recover or you can't even use. What this ND filter that I'm using is the ND32. The goal of the ND filter is to reduce the amount of light coming in so that you can use those types of shutter speeds. And with that kind of shutter speed, it generates a more natural motion blur, which is hopefully what we're seeing here. Over the last week that I've been getting to play around with the settings here, I've noticed one thing. There's a lot of jitter that happens when you have your camera with these kind of settings. And that's like on the Super73 too, like with the full suspension. Everything looked really shaky. It was basically making me nauseous with that kind of setting. So what I ended up doing was kind of like going through again that YouTube University, trying to figure out like, hey, how can I solve this? And that's where I ran into Jay Janklowski's videos on the Insta360 X5, and he mentioned the same thing, where he was getting jitters, but apparently there is a new setting on the Insta360 Studio that corrects that now. The reason you end up getting that jitter is the image stabilization for the 360 cameras acts a little funky, and it really needs a like crisp quality image in order to be able to stabilize the image. So when you introduce motion blur, the camera kind of doesn't know how to react to it, and you end up with this blurring. Now, the reason why I chose to ride the Zooz today is if we're gonna be testing jitter and shake, what better way to test it than having no suspension? When I was recording some of the other videos, y'all said that y'all again wanted to come along more for these types of tests, and today's like the first time that we're really testing the whole ND filter and mount situation with this wind muff. So I thank you for your patience while we kind of dial everything in over the next couple of videos. Everything should improve if this is relatively bad, and I apologize ahead of time if this is not as good as normal. So thank y'all for that. So we are now approaching the area where I work at. So what we'll do is we'll cut the video soon, and then we'll resume on the way home, and then we'll resume our conversations about this setup, and hopefully my settings are still gonna work later on, because it is getting much darker now in New York City now that we're approaching fall and summer is almost over. So hopefully I have enough light to be able to test the ND filters, but it should be okay, because I think I saw that sunset was at like 7:30 p.m. so we're a-okay. It's always like playing Frogger over here, like dodging people and dealing with construction. Oh God, this steam is so gross. nice bikes. But all right, y'all. I'll do EC. All right, with the magic of editing, we are officially done with work and we are heading out. I think I may have made a mistake there where the whole morning ride may have not even been recorded in 30 frames per second with a shutter speed of 1/60. So I'm not quite sure, and I hope that I did, but we'll see. We'll find out when the footage is rendered, and then I'll put like a little note here saying whether or not it was recorded. But it should be pretty obvious, because if there's no motion blur, like I was saying, then I really screwed up that early recording. But maybe the video will just be kind of like a before and after of what the old settings look like versus what the new settings look like. Now, if you liked this video and you want to support the channel, YouTube just introduced a new feature called Hype, where you can now hype up the video within the first 7 days of release. This new feature is kind of like a thumbs up, like a like, but you can now hype up a video, and if you hype up the video enough, it actually helps small creators like me gain a little bit more exposure by throwing us on the main page of YouTube. You can now hype up a video 3 times per week, and they have like a little leaderboard, and it's kind of like each one of the communities for the creators between 500 and 500,000 can now compete to try to get on that leaderboard. And yeah, it's a fun little way for us as a community to kind of try to get the channel out there a little bit more. If you like the video, as usual, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as it really helps out the channel, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you want to go like that guy from The Simpsons that's just like, ha ha, I even messed up and the whole morning session was not even recorded in 30 frames per second with a shutter speed of 1/60, but an ISO max of 400, and you basically wasted your whole morning. Feel free to leave that in the comment section. And if you really want to support the channel, there is gonna be a logo here on the bottom right. It's the channel's logo, and if you click on that, it'll automatically subscribe you to the channel. But turn on the bell notifications so that I can notify you anytime a video comes out. The video comes out every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern, but just in case you don't want to deal with that, turn on the notifications. I'd love to have you as part of the Ivan Rides family, and we're going to continue this ride to 10,000 subbies. But yeah, I hope we're now recording in the proper settings. So one of the reasons why we're trying this new chest mount setup and a regular helmet is because I want to be able to kind of bring my cameras along when I travel, and bringing my Fend helmet, which folds into a smaller form factor, is much easier than bringing my full face TSG Pass Pro. When I went to California in November of last year and I was recording, I had to bring a much larger luggage than I normally bring. And the reason I don't like that is because as a person that's traveled as an account manager over the years, I've lost so many bags, and it's always like a mess when you show up somewhere and then your luggage is like in a different part of the world. So one of the things that I really like about the chest mount compared to the helmet cam is the chest mount records at a lower level. That also means that I don't have to pull back the field of view, or the FOV, as wide as having it on the helmet mount. When I have it on the helmet mount, the distortion on the edges, because I'm pulling back the field of view so wide, the distortion on the edges gets really bad, so you end up with this like bubbling effect. The middle looks fine, but on the edges it looks really horrendous, because you end up with this big warping. And running the camera here on my chest just allows for a more narrow field of view, which kind of makes things look a little less funhousey. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I totally get that having the helmet cam is a much more immersive ride, but maybe the better field of view makes up for that. Oh, by the way, that's where we fell during the rainstorm over there. That little bit of road. Notice how the sidewalks all have like metal on the edges? That's how I ended up crashing during that wet ride. And if you haven't seen that wet ride yet, I'm gonna put a card up here. I took the Zooz out on like really brutal torrential downpours, and it was a hot mess. So yeah, I had my first crash then, but you know, it is what it is. I think I turned here. Oh, so we are actually heading towards Electric Wednesday right now, because it's after work and it's been raining the last 2-3 Wednesdays and I haven't been able to attend. So today's at Focal Point in Long Island City, and I could really use some like chill time after work, especially with how brutal work has been over the last couple of months, or over the last couple of weeks. So as we approach this final destination here, I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming along, as always. If you want to continue to watch some videos while we're waiting for the next video to come out next week, there's going to be a couple of playlists for you to check out, and I will catch you guys then. I don't want to crash here. So peace out and bye everyone. Ooh. It's a good amount of bikes out here. Yo, what's up? So, wow, a lot of people.